Hello, you guys. Welcome. This is Tania at Clinical to Creative. And today I wanted to check in. Um, Very impromptu. I know I have a couple of other videos coming down the pipeline, as I said in my community tab, but I wanted to just drop in to talk to my introverts, those of you who are like myself, they get their energy from being by themselves, from having alone time, from having me time. I'm very much so me time introverted person. This pandemic and just having the freedom to work from home and just not working in a formal corporate in-person setting for at this point pushing 5 years has significantly impacted my personality. And it wasn't until I started the transition of figuring out who I am post being a therapist that I learned the deep implications of being an introvert, but also being an introvert having not worked out and about in the field, so to speak, for almost 5 years. And I will say this, I am a person who is very intentional with my relationships. I don't necessarily like engaging people unless there's a reason, meaning like we're very close, we have just a good relationship in general, or, if I have to talk to you, I will for professional reasons. But one thing I've noticed in this transition and learning who I am as a professional who is an entrepreneur and trying to figure out this new thing that I'm doing, you have to be a people person. Okay, you got to be out here. I won't say in these streets, but you got to be out here engaging, interacting with people. And sometimes as introverts, you might feel like, what is the point of me doing this? Like, I don't want to do this. But at the end of the day, having people skills is a life skill. And one thing I've noticed as I've researched, I'm a content creator on other platforms, and I do a lot of research on Reddit, and just generally speaking, looking at how a lot of people are, especially within the pandemic, people glorify being isolatory. People glorify not wanting to deal with people. And don't get me wrong, I understand it's difficult dealing with people. I'm a former therapist. I've talked to hundreds of people that many would say are difficult to deal with. However, if you are a person trying to transition into something different, you have to understand, in order to get to that different place, you have to engage with other people. You're not going to engage with robots to get to a different job. Now, obviously, if you submitting your resume, you are going to hit AI and all that, but you would hope that a real person with real eyes is going to lay eyes on your resume. And at that point, you will be engaging with real people. As introverts, we have to understand that a lot of the engagement in this transitional period in our career is going to require us to talk to maybe people we don't necessarily want to talk in situations we don't want to talk in, and to just put ourselves out there in ways that are very uncomfortable. And I realize that, like, I am not an extrovert. My husband is the extrovert. Okay. Let me give you some insight into how extrovert he is. Excuse me. He wasn't even on LinkedIn 2 years ago, and he started the LinkedIn page like a year ago. And this mug has superseded me and basically an all-star, almost out there, okay, in his career transition. Mind you, the field that he's going into is very popular right now, so there are a lot of people trying to get into that field. So just by nature of him transitioning into that field, he's going to meet a lot of people, and he's a very likable person. So naturally, his connections, his followers on professional platforms like LinkedIn are going to go up. But people like myself who've been on LinkedIn forever, I've been on LinkedIn forever, okay? I never saw the just magnitude of how good of a tool that it is when it comes down to building relationships. I never looked at it that way until maybe the last 6 months, and just watching my husband's transition into his new career, and just learning all of these things as an introverted person, watching his extroverted journey. And I realized it just really convicted me, like, girl, you got to do better. You got to be out here in these internet streets. Nobody's going to come and give you the entrepreneurial pursuits that you want. You have to put yourself out there. And even though you are a good writer, you have to put that writing out there and engage with people for them to know who you are. And that requires being uncomfortable. But there's always a point at the end of the day. I've had people, engage me on LinkedIn or just any other social media platform. And I used to be the type of person to be like, what's this? What's going on? But now I see it as an opportunity to get to know this person. But at the end of the day, it's an opportunity to build. And whenever you're transitioning into a new space, a new career, new whatever, you have to look at whatever is in front of you as an opportunity to build or a lesson. And I'm learning that now. I am not letting fear stop God's plan. I know God's plan is for me to differentiate my social work skills. My clinical social work skills have served me very well, but I'm moving on to make a difference in the community in a bigger way. And in order to do that, I have to get out of my shell, the shell that was reinforced by being a hermit during this pandemic season. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out. I know that was a very long-winded way of saying, hey, introverts do better. Introverts who are trying to leave their social work job really, really strongly consider doing better in your interactions with other people. And I don't want to say networking. That sounds like, yeah, just go network. Everything's going to work out. No, it's deeper than just go network. It's about looking into yourself and seeing what are your reservations about engaging with people. If you do have reservations, like, what is it about myself that I can improve or work on and develop to get me to the point where I feel more comfortable with building opportunities and relationships with people? Because you never know where those opportunities will take you. And sometimes they're not obvious, but you have to be open to understanding the chance for it to blossom into something that you never knew it could be, So I know that was a lot, but yeah, just think about it, ponder on it. If you're Christian, take it to God. And yeah, until the next video, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.